Hey folks, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. And this is of The Vagrant. This is thanks to Dustin Kettler, who sent me this. Very kind of him to send me these. I already reviewed or ranted on The Outing, but now The Vagrant. I think I reviewed this film a long time ago, but that was like back when I had bad picture quality on the cam, and it was in two parts because I only had 15 minutes and so on and so forth. So I'm fine with that. Old review still up, but I wanted to do another review of The Vagrant. And The Vagrant is one of those films that I like because it's sort of a quirky little film. I think that's the best way to describe it, is quirky. Sort of strange. Kind of, it's comedy, but it's more like maybe a little bit of black comedy or a little bit of black humor. Because that flat out comedy is not a horror film spoof. It's not slapstick comedy or anything of that matter. But it's definitely a film that you're not supposed to take seriously. I mean, even the cover, it's a take on Home Alone. And even the tagline says, he's not home alone. Which that's probably wasn't the right cover, right? I think that was the poster as well. It wasn't the right one to use. But as you can tell, it stars Bill Paxton. It's actually directed by Chris Wallace. Chris Wallace is the same guy who he had directed The Fly too. I mean, he was a special effects guy. He did effects work on Gremlins, a lot of other stuff. But he got to direct The Fly 2, and I like The Fly 2. I think The Fly 2 is a fun movie. And this is unfortunately the last film he directed. I think he directed an episode of a show, but he really only directed two films, The Fly 2 and this one. It's a shame that this is the last film he got to direct. This was back in 1992. I know the film didn't do well. I'm not sure if The Fly 2 did well or not. Maybe it did okay. But it's too bad because I thought he did a decent job with it. The film also has Michael Ironside, who's not in the film tons, but when he's there, it's Michael Ironside, so he's fun to watch. Yeah, Marshall Bell, who you've seen this guy, and he was in Starship Troopers. He was in Nightmare on Elm Street 2 as the coach. You see Marshall Bell in a lot of stuff. He plays the Vagrant, the title character. And pretty much the film is about Bill Paxton. He's this guy who's a very sort of has a boring life, has a boring job, and is just looking for homes and finds this home. And in fact, the sort of quirkiness begins just when this female realtor is showing him the the home, and his realtor actually hits on him. She's actually tries to have sex with him right off the get go, but he has a girlfriend, so he doesn't want to. And just a little bit not too soon after that, he sees a vagrant. This very ugly looking guy, Marshall Bell. He's very dirty, he's got ratty clothes. One eye is really fucked up. Of course, this freaks him out because the vagrant was just in his house and it just leaves. And of course, right off the bat, he looks so funky and so dangerous looking. He's uh, paranoid about him. And that's sort of what the film's about paranoia. But sort of more of a quirky, little bit of a humorous take on paranoia. I mean, I would say I enjoy The Burbs more, much more. I mean, I love The Burbs with Tom Hanks. But I thought this is a decent film. Uh, it's a decent flick. And what I mean, like, for quirky humor, like, for instance, he's trying to find a way to get this guy arrested. And he calls the cops, and the cops goes, well, sir, we can't arrest him just because he's just, he's eating, you say he's eating something disgusting. We can't just arrest him, sir, just because he's eating something. And, like, Bill Paxton's trying to think of anything, and he says, he's urinating in the bushes. And that gets the cops' attention. It's like, he was what? Did you see him urinate, sir? Well, no, but... And then he talks to, like, a neighbor. It's like, well, wait a minute, we need you... If we need to get another witness to corroborate the urination. And in fact, Bill Paxton goes, oh, he's getting ready to urinate. And then the cop goes to the other, you want to call for backup? No, let's go. And I'm doing a shitty job of it, but the way it's done is like, okay, it's quirky, sort of interesting. And later on, the Vagrant gets released in jail and sees him across the street cooking, and Bill Paxton keeps calling the cops, and he's like making this sauce, sort of, I was going to say chili, but sort of this sauce. And as he drops in, he picks up, and Marshall Bill's face is right against his window, and he freaks out and flips over. And that leads him to put in this big security system around his place. His girlfriend comes there. There's a point where he sees the Vagrant in his home. He's wondering how the hell. And his girlfriend, which I gotta admit, I gotta side with Bill Paxton. I think his girlfriend was very stupid. And then she sort of... I think she's an idiot. She thinks she's not, but I think she's an idiot. That she had actually invited the guy, just, oh, well, he's so poor, look how he's homeless, he's just going through the garbage, it's the least I can do. I'm like, I agree with Bill Paxton, you're fucking stupid. So she calls the cops, and one of the cops is actually Michael Ironside, who's, when he's there, he's not in the film too much. I don't know, if you... less than 10 minutes. And it's like, pretty much his girlfriend tells the cops that, oh, he's having paranoid delusions. The guy, I wouldn't know if he's a killer or not. And I'm like, I feel bad for Bill Paxton, because I'm like, obviously we believe him. And the film kind of, at times, makes us try to think, is Bill Paxton going crazy? Sometimes he has these weird dreams about the Vagrant. Like, I know he has a weird dream about the Vagrant, stooping, fucking his woman. And, it's like, okay, is he going insane? Supposed to be that deal on paranoia. But to be honest, I never thought, even watching the first time, that the Vagrant wasn't real. I always thought that the Vagrant was real. That the Vagrant was real, and that, it was just fucked with Bill Paxton. If the film was trying to make me think that, oh, well, maybe Bill Paxton's just crazy and he's imagining it all, I never bought into it. So, if you want to call that a bad thing. But he thinks he's going crazy. He finds one of his glasses, like sort of this part here, got broken off, and he's freaking out, and his girlfriend leaves him. He finds shit fucked up in his home from time to time. His clock gets fucked up, so he gets into work late, and ultimately there's a smell going on in his basement, and he finds his Valentine's Day box, and actually there's a bunch of fingers in there, because there was a murder before. And there's a bunch of fingers in there, and he calls the cops. And of course the cops, really the only guy who believes him is his buddy, actually Mark McClure. Mark McClure, who was Jimmy Olsen in the Richard Donner Superman and those type of movies, those old Superman movies. Which is weird, because he kind of appears and then he sort of disappears for the rest of the film. Well, so does his girlfriend, too. But, of course, this freaks Bill Paxton out, and he has his shotgun, and the realtor comes by, sets with her again. Michael Ironside has his group raid his home and shoot the shit out of his house, and they actually, good makeup effect, they find the realtor's head and feet put together in Bill Paxton's fridge. And he's trying to tell him, no, it wasn't me, it was the Vagrant. He somehow got into my home. And they arrest him. And actually, weirdly enough, they arrest him, and during the trial, his mom has a heart attack and dies. And so he just found out guilty, maybe because the jury took some pity on him. And actually, like, again, the quirky humor, there's a shot on Michael Ironside, or someone's watching on TV, and Bill Paxton is coming out of the courthouse, and his mom's on a stretcher, and the body slides off the stretcher, slides down the stairs, and just the way it was set up, just sort of that, again, that sort of quirky humor that at least makes this interesting. It wasn't. I can't really say it was laugh out loud funny. I can't really say it was scary, but I did find it a bit interesting, and I like Bill Paxton, so that helps too. So he pretty much has to get out of town, start a new life, moves his trailer park, even though he still has nightmares and he freaks out. And there's this woman who went to him, sort of a little of a heavy-set woman, and he actually handcuffs himself in case he doesn't want anything to happen. And she takes advantage of him, and actually, we don't see it, but you can tell that she took advantage of the situation, so that he didn't see coming. And it cuts to Bill Paxton has a full-on mullet, and he's pure redneck now. And he has his friendship with this blind guy. But of course, the Vagrant is there because the blind guy finds his dog dead. Bill Paxton wakes up with this bloody cleaver. He freaks out, trying to see if the Vagrant's there, has to get out of the trailer park. He's driving, he's seeing all these sort of visions and stuff of people, and then the Vagrant attacks him, and he crashes the car. But then he keeps going, and when he stopped to get gas, he sees that in the back of the vehicle is actually the Vagrant stuff. And he looks through it and he finds out that the Vagrant, not only is he real, which, again, if they were trying to make us think that, oh, maybe the Vagrant is a figment of his imagination, I don't think they really did a good job with it, because I always figured there was a real Vagrant. I never bought into that, oh, it's just in his mind sort of thing. Never bought into that at all. But he looks through it and sees these pictures that Marshall Bell, the Vagrant, was a professor, and something happened. He had been arrested, and he had been kicked out, and he used Bill Paxton as a guinea pig. What it was, the guinea pig, was it for a study in paranoia? Was it a study to see if he can change a person from one to another? It's not really explaining 100% what his point of his experiment was. We just know that Bill Paxton was sort of a little guinea pig for it. And then you have a fun little sequence where he chases Marshall Bell into this sort of mines, but it's like one of those mines that uh, people. I just sort of like I don't want to say tourist attraction, but there's like a vending machine there and stuff. And it's actually chasing the Vagrant with the pickaxe. Michael Ironside, the cops there, they chase him into there. Um, and in fact, Michael Ironside gets the hold on him, and the Vagrant actually stabs Michael Ironside with a fucking stool. It's like a stool, so there's like 3 holes that go through Michael Ironside. And Bill Paxton can't do anything, so he actually takes a picture so that he has proof. The other cop comes in, and this is what I'm talking about, the quirky humor. The cop comes in and looks at the Vagrant, looks at Bill Paxton, and sees Michael Ironside dead, and goes, "Who did this?" And they both go, "He did." So it's like, that's a comedy bit that you've seen quite a bit. It's just sort of a very goofy, sort of childish thing to do in the situation, but I thought it worked, and that made me chuckle. And then Bill Paxton says, "I think you're going to love this picture," and gives it to the cop, and the cop sees that the Vagrant killed his partner and shoots the Vagrant. The Vagrant actually not only gets shot, but falls into this cacti that hits his face, and shows that he's pretty much dead, that this guy had killed people in other states, so there was actually a reward in some states, so Bill Paxton's going to get some kind of reward. We see that because he gets a new place. He looks like he's by himself. But you get an idea that he's still freaked out, because like early in the film, it all sort of started with this dripping that was going to the sink. So when this sink is dripping again, I guess just to show us that he's still going to be a little bit freaked out from what had happened to him, which is understandable. Now the film, The Vagrant, it's not a film I can see myself rewatching a lot because it's not like it's an action film. It's not like it's a gore film. It's not a body count film. Although there's a couple of decent after effect uh, sequences, but you know it's directed by effects guy, so you're not going to see like wall to wall special effects of the Vagrant fucking people up left and right. Um, like you see, like I thought the makeup of the Vagrant looked pretty decent, and again you see the realtor's her head and feet and the fridge. Uh, when Michael Ironside gets stabbed with the stool, you see them go through Michael Ironside. But again, it's not a huge body count. It's not wall to wall gore. It's not much of special effects or action. Um, it wasn't like laugh out loud funny, or I didn't think it was scary. But I like Bill Paxton. I like Michael Ironside, Marshall Bell. I just thought it was sort of a quirky little film, quirky, interesting little picture that was a decent little flick. That if you like quirky little films, films that a little bit has a little bit of strangeness to it. It's not your typical film. It's not a film that you see every day, so to speak. Uh, it's a film that it's kind of weird. Like you have a lot of the film that's when he's in his home, but then when it gets to trial and he gets not guilty and he goes to a trailer park, for some reason for me it always seemed like it kind of turned to a different movie. Maybe because of the setting, and it kind of seems like, okay, he's in the trailer park, and then all of a sudden, I guess the woman took advantage of him, and now all of a sudden he has a mullet, and he's like a redneck. I'm like, how long has he been at this trailer park? Has he been there for a day? Has he been there for a week? Has he been there for a month? Don't really know. So it's kind of like sort of weird transitions. You're like, wait a minute, how long has he been here? And uh, where's Mark McClure? And I guess he probably doesn't believe him. His girlfriend, I didn't. It's kind of weird. I thought that his girlfriend would come back into the picture, but that never happened. But yeah, it's an interesting little film. I don't know how to describe The Vagrant. I mean, this is the best way that I could. But I don't know what else I can say without this going to 30 minutes or so. But either way, thanks for watching this little review of The Vagrant. But stay tuned for more videos, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.